Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to my Game of Thrones Legends mobile game content. So, oh boy, I get to collect my daily reward. Boom, got it. Nice one, nice one. So today I am working on trying to figure out how to play ROBBS War. And I see that in my last video when I was talking about normal, I think I may have made kind of a little mistake in judgment in how was the best way to play this, because I did not look at the information on the scoring when I was doing the first few matches. Right now you can see I've kind of got it figured out a little better. I'm getting the 80s or better on just about everything. This one I did not, so I'm going to try that one again because I want to get to the end of a battle to where we can actually look at that scoring screen again. This right here was the team that I finally settled on in easy, in normal mode. As you can see, I've got 3 level 1 characters that none of them have any gear on, and then I've got Ned and Lord of Bones in there, and this seemed to work the best out of everything. Whenever I have to take Lady Julie, I end up usually taking out Lord of Bones maybe or so, so that I can keep these bleeders in there, and it seems to be working okay. Honestly, I'm not going to lie, I did all those battles on auto because I was being lazy and I just did not want to sit there and have to click. So I was letting it run on auto while I was doing something else, and you can see that my scores were not too bad really. 83, 94, 80, 80, 84, 89, 89, 85, 82, 83, 80, 92, 80, 82, 83, 84. So I got a pretty commanding lead, and this is just normal, I know, so this is going to be a far cry different from Treacherous and Kingslayer, but 1.3.5 mil against 1.2, I think that's a pretty good lead, and I don't think I'm even going to have to worry about this, so I'm not going to sweat this one at all. I'm just going to leave it as is. I do want to do one battle though so we can get to the end screen. So let me go ahead and set this one to do auto, and let's just kind of watch it go. So right off the bat, Ned gives some good ice. And then anytime Lady Julie uses her ability, she puts ice on. The Boltons put bleed on every time they use their skill. This field general guy is actually going to be probably one of the best Boltons to use because he puts the most bleed on from what I can see. Right now I have him at level 1, but I'm going to have to pick one of my bleeders to level up for the later Treacherous and Kingslayer, and I have a feeling it's probably going to be the Field General because I think he would be most effective on the higher levels if I put him up to about 100 or so. Not really sure where to stop with him yet, but I'm going to kind of feel that out as I go, and that didn't do so hot. So, but see, this is what I wanted to get to, the end screen. When I was talking about turns taken in the last video, I said I thought that, you know, the best thing to do was to draw it out as long as possible. So I didn't know if this score was derived from taking a lot of turns, you got a higher score, or taking a less amount of turns, you got a higher score. And then I finally looked at the little information graphic here, and it says win the battle in fewer turns to get a higher score. So that's what that turn score is coming from, turns taken. You're winning the battle in fewer turns to get a higher score. Win the battle with more team health remaining. So with your team, the more health you in the battle with, the more score you get. So it might be beneficial to have a healer on your team like Talisa. She can do a little bit of healing to keep everybody topped up. And then the more ice and bleed on defeated enemies and deal more damage to enemies. So the main things are going to be turns taken. As you can see, I got a really decent score from that one from doing it quickly. And then ice and bleed bonus is going to be your 2 main categories that you're going to get your biggest score from. From what I've been kind of understanding in the Discord, most people are saying the most effective tactic is to try to stack ice to 5 and bleed to 3 on an enemy as fast as you can and then kill them off. That way you can finish the battle in the least amount of turns and not mess around with them on the board once they get to a point that they've got all they can get. I had thought that maybe it would have been effective to use bleeders and then let them reapply as bleed wore off, but that is working against you trying to finish in the least amount of turns. So I think it's more beneficial to just try to stack 5 ice and 3 bleed as fast as you can and then kill that person off and then move on to the next, or do them all at once or whatever. But trying to get the battle done in the least amount of turns is going to generate you the best score. Plus, you're going to get your big bonus from your bleed and ice stacks that you put on. But I think winning the battle in the least amount of turns is still going to be a thing. So hopefully that alone will discourage people from sitting there and doing the hour-long cheese. If that works, then I'm all for that, because I do not want to have to play these levels an hour each just to be competitive. And if that's what a lot of people sit around and do, then that's going to force this event to be no fun, in my opinion, because I don't need to spend 16 hours per difficulty bracket just to try to be competitive. I just won't do it. If that's going to be how it is, I just won't play it. That's just all there is to it. So hopefully that one mechanic alone, from trying to finish the battle in a few amount of turns as possible, will keep that from happening, I hope. Well, we'll see. But anyway, let's do this second video and let's look at the hard bracket. As the difficulty gets higher, I think I'm going to have a better time, because a lot of my people that I have are already kind of leveled up to the point that it made it difficult for me on normal to find something that actually worked. But for hard, it's going to get a little bit more difficult, and I think that will give me the boost I need to get just a little bit better scores, and we'll find out here in a little bit. So yeah, definitely everything I'm seeing everywhere I'm looking, people are saying that's the best strategy, is to try to stack bleed and ice as fast as you can and then kill them off. And then if you can't do that, then one of the better strategies is to draw it out. But ideally, we would like to stack it fast so that we don't have to spend hours upon hours playing the levels. So let's jump into hard here in just a minute. We're gonna see what team I can build to try it, and I think I'm gonna go with something like this. I think I'm gonna go with this one, and I'm gonna continue to try Lady Talisa because she seems to be working well for me. She's putting some ice on. I don't know how fast she is at it. May not be as fast as I really need her to be, so that may not be a good choice in the long run, but for right now, I'm gonna put her in there. And then I'm gonna use the Bolton Field General. Let's do this. I'm gonna use the Bolton Field General. And who else? I think I'll throw Lord of Bones in there. Come on, get that thing out of my face. Lord Bones, throw him in there because he's doing good as well. So let me try this and see what it does. I'm actually going to go in on auto just for kicks and see how it works. Because if I can get it to play on auto and do just fine, then that would be great. Because I don't always have time to sit there and handle the battles one by one. So auto would be my preferred method of play, actually. I know that sounds lazy and crazy. You're going to play a game, why aren't you going to play it? But I've actually grown to love auto battle mechanics in games like this. I have played this and a few other games that have auto battle mechanics, like King Arthur Legends Rise has auto battle mechanics in it, and I really dig that. That's one of the things I like about the game, is the ability to just let it play while I do work or do whatever. And I know that sounds dumb. If you would ask me 15 years ago when I was playing these kind of games, why in the world would you let auto battle control your battle, I would have never understood that. But now it's more prevalent in games like this, and I get it now. It's kind of cool. Allows me to sort of multitask and do other things. So yeah. So this has been interesting to see what auto battle can do. The strength of the enemies is a little stronger, so they're actually staying up longer. That one got to 4 ice and 3 bleed, and for auto battle 82,000's not that bad, really. Could have probably finished a little sooner and got a better score had I controlled it by hand, but this is a test to see how this is going to do in auto battle mode. Okay, so my bracket did finally fill up. Let's see who all's in my bracket. I'm hoping I don't have my alliance mates or Discord members in here that I recognize. Sadly, I see a couple of my Discord members already. Sorry about that, guys, if I ruin your day. Okay, so I was just curious to see who was in my bracket. Now I'm just going to keep on auto battling, because auto battling has been pretty good to me, so I'm not going to complain. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to auto battle as much as possible, so that I then have time to go back and rework some of the worst levels, and I'll worry about those. And the ones that get 80 or above, I won't sweat so much unless I'm in a fight for first. But that's not going to happen until I get into Treacherous or Kingslayer, really. And when I get into those two brackets, I think I will probably take more command of the battle, because those are the ones that are really important, because that's, you know, obviously, you know, that's where you get the legendary gear. So that's the ones. Oh man, I wanted to get that wolf gem match, but I think auto battle may have got it. While I was talking, I saw 2 wolf match gem there sitting there. 5 and 3 on that one, so that worked out great. He's got 5 ice and 3 bleed, because obviously Treacherous and Kingslayer is where the legendaries come from, so that's when you got to really pay attention. Of course, the normal and easier are normal and hard are good too, because you get gold and all that kind of stuff. So that's, you know, nothing to sneeze at as far as rewards go. We still have to be mindful of being efficient with our rewards, because even though the game has gotten a lot better about distributing rewards, sometimes it can still feel a little on the stingy side, especially when you're trying to get some tokens to make some pulls that you're wanting to do. So we have to be mindful of efficiency when playing. So that one right there, that's got 4 ice and 3 bleed. So that's a good 5 ice and 3 bleed right there. So that was a good one. So see, I got a little bit better score, 88, 170, and that's full auto. I didn't touch that battle at all. That is pretty good. If I could average that kind of a score right there, I think that would be good enough to take me to first in normal and hard every single time. And I'm not going to complain if that'll happen. I think it's just finding the right team that's not too strong and not too weak. It's just right, long enough to keep them alive so that you can actually get your stacks on there, but quick enough in stack generation to where you can finish the battle in the least amount of turns as possible. So that's where you need to throw your head at, you know, throw your head on trying to do those things, and you'll get the best score. Now obviously you'll get a better score if you control it by hand. So these 88s that I'm getting, I could probably turn into 90s all day long by just making wiser choices on the matches. But today is my mental health gaming day, so I'm going to play some other stuff today as well. I'm going to play some King Arthur Legends Rise. I got to get my heroes a little stronger in that one. And I'm going to play Ark Survival Ascended because I have a ×3 bonus rates event going on this weekend, which means I can raise more babies faster. And I'm going to play the crap out of that today too. So I'm interested to see how this one turns out. I got 4 ice on the brawler and no bleed, unfortunately. Hopefully you get some bleed on him before he dies. Okay, there goes 1 bleed on him at least. Lady Julie cannot take ice, so she is going to only end up with bleed every time when you come against her. She's immune to ice. It's wild. There was actually a contest, they said, that allowed a person that plays the game to become a character in the game, and whoever it was that is represented by Lady Julie was the one that won the contest. I don't know how that one snuck by my notice, but I never saw that, so I'm not really sure where that was at. Maybe on Facebook or something, and I didn't pay a lot of attention to the Facebook account. So that one didn't go so hot. I think it's because that one drawed out a lot longer because Lady Julie was in there and she couldn't get ice stacks, so I think that really hampered the score. So that's one that I'll probably have to take control of myself to get a better score on that one. But yeah, about the contest, I don't know where that came from, but whoever it was that actually won that contest and got to have herself represented in game as Lady Julie, that's really cool. I'm glad for you. That's really neat. You don't get that opportunity every day to become a character in the game we love. So Lady Julie, whoever you are, that was grats to you. That was really cool. I would like to be Sir Mirandus one of these days and be a character in game also. That would be really neat. I'd like to be one of those dudes with a really big axe and a furry beard, slaying fools, cutting them in half with great swaths of my axe. My axe. All right. This one's going to work out good. 5 and 2 on that one. Lady Julie's in my party this time, and I don't really know if I do better when she's in there or not, honestly. I guess I'd probably do better if I controlled the battle, but I'm just letting it auto battle right now just to kind of test it, to see what auto battle can do. There was a big disparity in the scores on my easy bracket. On my normal bracket, I got up to like battle 14 and I still was in place like 13 or 14th. And then once I did the 15th and 16th battle, I shot up to number 1, and that was kind of weird, the disparity between that gap of levels and you know, battles. So that was kind of interesting. The choice of 16 battles, I don't really know how they come up with that. I know that we had one event, the Rook's Rest event, and it has 15, and then the Egg event and the Battle of the Bastards have 20. I honestly feel like 20 is just too much. I feel like 20 takes too long, and I would personally rather see it at 15. 16 is better than 20 though, so I don't know if they're just trying to find a sweet spot in between 15 and 20, but kind of an odd choice to land on 16. I can't handle it. My OCD won't allow anything other than 0s or 5s, so I would personally rather see it end on 15 than 16, but whatever. They must have some reason why they did it. Probably something to do with the amount of resources you gain. I'm not sure really what caused them to choose 16 instead of 15 or 20. I just think that 20 was a little bit too much though, so I'm glad it looks like they are paring it back just a little bit. because all of this is a time investment for people that are playing the game. And for some people, time may be a luxury that they have a lot of, but I don't. So I always appreciate when I can do more with less, especially when time's involved. Lady Talisa went down that time. That's kind of interesting. I've not seen any of my characters get killed yet, but I guess that goes to reason because the difficulty is going up. I won't be able to pull this nonsense with level 1 characters in the next bracket for sure. And there went my general. He went down as well. That sucks because he was needing to apply some bleed right there. So now I've got 2 icers left, and I don't think I'll be able to apply bleed for the rest of the battle. So this score won't go so great. Well, there's 1 bleed, came from somewhere. Must be Lady Talisa. Or Lady Julie, I mean. Sorry, I got them confused. There's ice and no bleed. If I get any more bleed, it has to come from Lady Julie because nobody else on my team is alive that can bleed. Yep, there goes a bleed, so it must be from Lady Julie. Or it could have been from the Wolf Gem match, I guess. So it could have been that too. I wasn't paying attention to see if any of those got matched. Yeah, this score's not going to be so great because this battle took a long time. I got decent stackage on a lot of them, but just took way too many turns. They're going to be in the 50s now. 75 is not as bad as I expected. I figured this would be a lot lower, but I think I got buffered by this because I did a lot of stacks actually. So yeah, that was interesting. First time I've seen any of my characters go down in the battle, but they are, I've got what, 2 or 3 level 1s? I've got 2 level 1s in this party with no gear on whatsoever. So yeah, I should expect that as it gets harder for sure. So whenever I get to the point that I get control of my party back and I don't have Lady Julie in there, I will probably put the other Bolton back in that I've been liking to use, the Flayer. He's been working really good. Dreadfort Flayer or whatever he's called. Him and the Bolton Field General are pretty ace for these difficulties, normal and hard. Treacherous and Kingslayer, I need to level up one of them, I think, and I'm probably gonna take Lord of Bones up to the Treacherous and Kingslayer team, so I may go ahead and put a few more levels on him as well. But I gotta be careful, and you really need to be careful and think through the process of who you're gonna level and who you're not. Because in this game, once you put levels in a character, that's it. You don't get that ability to take those levels back. You can't do a hero token reset or anything like that. Hopefully one of these days they will add that into the game because that would be super cool. But right now you don't have the ability to do a hero reset. So you got to be very careful about who you choose to level, because once they become too strong, they can then no longer be effective on the easier difficulties. But I mean, do you really care? I don't know. It depends, because Treacherous and Kingslayer are the 2 most important difficulty brackets. So maybe you just want to focus on those 2, because that's where you get your legendaries. So I don't know. I'm still trying to decide how I feel about all this. I'm not really worried about how it plays out against other events, because a lot of these characters are not characters that I use in other events. So what I'm doing with the leveling of them right now is basically just for this one. It may be useful in the Crowns Challenge, some of these maybe, I don't know. Okay, 81,000. So as you can see, even auto battle you can get decent scores. Right now I have 15th place, and I have 467,000 with how many battles left? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 10 battles left. That's not right. Yeah, it is right. I still haven't done 7. So I've got 10 battles left. So I've got the ability to get another one, you know, probably 1.2 to 1.3 mil just on auto battle alone. So I'm doing really good, and I'm not having to control it too awful much. So that's great in my opinion. So I'm gonna finish this out and I'll bring you back close to the end to see where I end up. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video. Don't want it to go too long. I don't want you to fall asleep on me in the middle of it. So I'm gonna pause it and bring you back towards the end. So I was so surprised. I came in back in my office and saw the word defeat on the screen. I had a defeat. So I think I'm going to put a few levels into some of these heroes just to make sure. Whoops, I got to go into the hero screen just to make sure they're surviving, because I did actually have a defeat. And I don't know what happened because I was in the other room doing dishes. But when I came back in, everybody was dead for some reason. It may have been a bug for all I know. I don't know what's going on. But I'm going to give Lady Talisa, I don't know, about 20 levels. And then I'm going to give the Bolton Field General about 20. And see how that feels. I don't really want to do more than that at a time, because I don't want to accidentally level up the wrong one too much. So let's go back into it. That was battle 11. Not really sure what was going on with battle 11. Okay, start off with 3 ice, got 9 enemies. It may have just been bad luck, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so I don't have red in this party, so I need to quit trying to match red. I keep thinking I have the Bolton Flare in here. It's probably going to be funny if I do better by just letting the auto battle do it than I do when I try to play it myself, because I'm trying to play it myself right now. Be hilarious if auto battle actually does better than I do. Okay, get some purple going. Get some bleed on her. Very good. Okay, don't necessarily want to use Ned right now. Do want to get some purple going though, so I can get some bleed. Who can I heal? Let's heal Lord of Bones. Not really sure that was the best choice. I probably should have put that bleed on my enemy first before I used Lady Julie. That might be why I got defeated right there. Jamie popped up and probably wrecked my team while I wasn't watching. Okay, Lady Talisa died. Got some ice on them. I need to get some more purple in there so I can get some more bleed. Not using Ned on purpose. I don't really want to kill anybody just yet. Oh man, not a great board. There's some purple. And he died before I could use him. Doggone it. Well, that makes me mad. makes me mad, boys. Alright, get some ice on there. No chance to get any bleed anymore, so might as well just get this over with. Match as many wolf gems as I can. And that's about all I can do, unless Lady Julie puts some bleed on there for me. Let's get another ice if possible. Nope, not having it. Let's get this wolf gem. Alright, 82,000. That was better than a defeat for sure. Better than a defeat. Alright, finishing this out, I'll bring you back. So I'm to the end finally, and I'm on the last level, 16. You can see that I've got one guy ahead of me by like 10,000, which will be no sweat to pass him with the last level completed. But I had some, you know, good ones and bad ones this time around. I think it's just due to the increased difficulty and the power of my heroes not being where it needs to be. But like I said, I'm hesitant to raise their levels too much until I really see what I need for Treacherous and Kingslayer, until I get a good feel for that. Because I don't want to raise their levels too high and then not be able to do what I need to do in these levels. But the Treacherous and Kingslayer is more important. So I had a 58 right here. Not really sure what happened on that one. That's probably one that I ought to replay, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and replay that one real quick and see what was going on in that one. This is one that I had both bleeders in, so okay, so it's the one where you fight Lady Julie. That's what I guess dragged the battle out a little bit longer than normal. I'm going to get that wolf gem out of the way, and then I'm going to steadily work on trying to get some blue, or not blue, red and purple, because I want to get those bleeds up. Try to get some red in there and work some purple up. Okay, good deal. Get that blue gem. So I might need to think about a better ice dealer than Lady Julie, because she's just really not cutting it as far as ice generation. Lord of Bones is doing all he can do, but I could be doing better on ice, and I think that's the linchpin for me to be able to get better scores in these battles, is to do just a little bit better in ice. So I think I will probably think about swapping Lady Julie out for somebody else that generates just a little bit more ice a little faster. Let's see, red, I want to try to get this guy charged up if he don't die first. Lady Talisa, let's heal before she gets killed. Get that blue gem. Get some purple. Get a little red, work some purple up. I'm going to take out my bleeders before I can make full use of them. They're really close to dying right now. Let's see if I can get one bleed attack off before. Okay, so you can bleed stealth characters. That's something I also was curious about. Can you bleed stealth characters? And I just did it, so I know that's a thing. Okay, so my bleeders and my icers are dead, so now it's time to just finish the battle, Ned, if you survive. That may be why I had such a lousy score on it the first time, because this is what happened. Everybody kind of laid down on me at the very end. Alright, there we go. See if we did better this time. Nah, no way. So auto battle did better than I did trying to control it. Yeah, that's a tough one. I'll have to swap my team around for that one to do better on that. So let's go ahead and finish the last one. And I want to do true to form. I want to let auto battle finish it out for me, just so I can get an idea of how good auto battle can do. I pretty much, yeah, I did for all the scores that I have recorded on this mode. I have all auto battles, so this will be really cool to see what you can get as an auto battle. As long as you make your team composition pretty good based on what you got available, you should be able to let auto battle play you a decent score, and then you can go back and work on the ones that you didn't do so hot on. 5 ice right there already. That one worked out good. Get 3 bleed. There we go. Got 3 bleed on him, so he's max. So just get rid of the brawler. Focus on putting the ice and bleed on the rest. I'm seeing max stacks on all these enemies so far, so this one might be a pretty decent one to end it out with. Okay, Rickard, see how you fare, sir. Trader. Got ice on him. Need one more bleed. One more bleed, y'all. One more bleed, Lady Julie. Well, the bleed's gone. I'm so tempted to take over the battle because it's not making the best choices, but that would mess up my test. Okay, there we go. 79,000 for a auto battle on number 16. Could have been better if I could have got it faster. That was good enough to put me in first place, not by much though, so I have a feeling that I will get knocked back down. And then later on, if I want to, I can go back and work on some of these scores, the 70, the 78, the 76, the 75. 58, obviously. I got quite a bit of room for improvement, so I'm not really worried about this, that I am so close to the next guy, because I'll just let him feel like he has a little hope, and then I'll go in there and destroy his hope later when the event's closer to being ended. That way I can get an idea of who I need to really worry about and fight against. Okay, so I'm going to do Treacherous next. But that's going to be the next video. I want to kind of keep them separate as far as the difficulty per video. So first we had a video on normal where we talked ourselves through it. Then hard we just now did. Next is treacherous. I'm going to do that next. So see you in the next video. Hope you have a great day. Peace.